People who study Kukiwon style Taekwondo know the Taegeuk poomsae, and they have seen the associated trigrams. But what is the connection really between the poomsae and the trigrams? To answer that question, we have to go back in time, thousands of years ago, to ancient China. There, people used a book called the I Ching as a system of divination. What is divination? Divination is just another word for fortune telling. You've probably seen Harry Potter, where Professor Trelawney teaches the children divination. The children at Hogwarts learn to read tea leaves and to read their fortunes in crystal balls. Other Western examples of divination include tarot cards and palm reading. In ancient China, fortune tellers would throw coins or straws or other small tokens as a method of divination. Depending on how the tokens landed, they would then draw solid lines or broken lines. Three lines would make up a trigram, also called a gui. Two trigrams make up a hexagram. The I Ching was a book that assigned meanings to the trigrams and the hexagrams that came from these tokens. Using the tokens and the book, you could tell somebody's fortune. In the I Ching, each trigram can have multiple meanings, and it's up to the fortune teller to decide how to interpret the trigrams. The trigrams can refer to a force of nature, a family member, a part of the body, an animal, or a direction of the compass. Each trigram is made up of three lines. Each line can be broken or solid. That means there are only 8 possible trigrams, because there are only 8 ways to arrange broken and solid lines into 3 lines. Today, thousands of years later, even people who do not believe in divination still use these trigrams as important cultural symbols. Now, jump ahead to modern Korea. It's 1971, and a committee of senior Taekwondo masters are designing new Taekwondo poomsae. They decide to use the I Ching trigrams as the basis for their poomsae. Each poomsae will be performed on 3 lines, just like the trigrams. On each line of the poomsae, the martial artist has to turn 180 degrees. If the martial artist pivots in place, this will be represented by a broken line. If the martial artist turns by using his lead foot, this will represent a solid line. Here's an example using Taegeuk Samjang. On the first line you step to turn, on the second line you pivot to turn, and on the third line you step to turn. So you have a solid line, a broken line, and a solid line. That gives you the trigram for fire. The committee that designed the Taegeuk poomsae incorporated the trigram meanings into the poomsae. For example, the trigram for Taegeuk Iljong symbolizes sky, so you should perform this poomsae with your mind and your body upright and open, just like the sky. The trigram for Taegeuk Ijong symbolizes lake, so when you perform this poomsae, your mind should be focused and clear and calm like a lake. The trigram for Taegeuk Samjang symbolizes fire, so when you perform this poomsae, your movements should crackle and pop with energy like a fire. The trigram for Taegeuk Sajong symbolizes thunder. This form should be performed with majesty like a great thunderstorm. You'll also notice that in this poomsae we see the double side kicks one after another, striking over a long distance like lightning. The trigram for Taegeuk Ojang symbolizes wind. In this form, the movements are designed to be gentle but unyielding, like the wind. The trigram for Taegeuk Yukjong symbolizes water. In this poomsae you flow around your opponent, wearing him down, before flowing back at the end of the poomsae to your source. The trigram for Taegeuk Chiljong symbolizes mountain. In this poomsae, you see techniques like the low cross block, which show that you are unyielding, immovable, like a mountain. The tiger stance is also prominent in this form, alluding to the tigers who live in the mountains of Asia. The trigram for Taegeuk Paljong symbolizes ground. At this point, the student has established a strong foundation, solid like the ground, as a foundation for all his future study. So what we've learned is that the trigrams show up in the poomsae in two different ways. First of all, the solid and broken line patterns show how your feet are supposed to turn on each line of the poomsae. But also, the meaning of the trigram explains how you should be performing the poomsae. Should you be performing Taegeuk Samjong fluidly, like water, or should you be performing it with fire and crackle and pop? Now that you understand the trigrams, you know that you should be performing this poomsae with crackle and pop, like a fire.